Look at all those wires. There's more cabinets over there filled with them too. Hey everybody. It's Pastor Steve from Christ Presbyterian Church in Tucson, Arizona. Welcome to another edition of Faith-Filled Friday. What a reflection, huh? I try to come on Fridays at noon, Tucson time, to remind us that our faith is important not just on Sundays, but all through the week. Earlier today, in some other parts of our church, we had some volunteers, a volunteer, and some paid folks from electrical company come, and they were pulling wires and putting in new wires and getting ready for the new phone system that the church needs, and upgrading the wiring that goes to our projection in Fellowship Hall. It's just, and it made me think of all the wiring here over in the sanctuary. What a mess. Look at all those wires. It's amazing to me, all the different wires that go into all this electronic stuff. And each wire has its own origin and its own destination and its own function. And it takes all of those wires, all hooked up properly, to make our audiovisual system actually work. So now you kind of know why every once in a while it goes goofy, because maybe a wire goes bad or it gets kicked or bumped or whatever. I don't know. I guess I'm always amazed at all it takes behind the scenes to make things happen. And I think maybe life is like that too. All the other stuff going on behind the scenes that you and I don't see and don't know about, that God is making connections with. And I really trust that God understands the system, the complex mess of wires and connections and whatever it takes to make life work and bring about the plan that God has for this creation. Life gets complicated. But most of us don't even see the complications behind it. But God does. And God knows them and knows how to make those connections, folks. I do really, really believe that God's plan for this whole creation is goodness and peace and life and wonderment. And somehow in the midst of that, God's making it happen, despite us messing up the wiring sometimes. But God understands and knows how to make the connections to make it work. So I trust God. God has shown God's self to be trustworthy in all generations before mine, and is showing that even now. As complicated as it all seems, as complicated as life really is, please, I invite you to just trust God. And whatever plan God has got going on behind all the scenes, it's going to come together someday, somehow. Maybe not in the way you and I plan or think is right, but in the way God knows is best. Amidst this complicated mess of wires that actually bring about some beautiful stuff for us in worship, it's like that in life. God's bringing some beautiful stuff amidst the complications of life. Trust the process. Trust the one who created the process. Trust God. Grace and peace to you this day. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Faith-Filled Friday.